For our Aesthetics 201 class, we were asked to participate in an ongoing arts-related activity which would help us grow over the course of the semester. I knew that if I wanted to challenge myself, I would have to focus on my visual art abilities. So crossing my fingers, I began my 4-step process to becoming a better artist. Step 1. I began my personal arts project by the research stage. I went to the library and collected books that would show me different ways of making visual art, and then I used the internet as a reference to find out tips and skills that I could use in my drawing experiences. Step 2. Because I consider myself to have no artistic ability, I knew that it would be hard to stay motivated in this project. So I set aside 1 hour each and every week to work on my art projects. This would act as a goal for me. Step 3. It was time for me to get busy as an artist. I decided that I would focus on 5 main aspects of visual art, including cartooning, sketching, interpreting, using space, and pointillism. With a lot of patience and using the techniques that I had found out, I was able to create about 11 pieces of art. Step 4. The last step was the most crucial step in this entire process. I needed to remember why I was doing this in the first place. It used to scare me to think that in 5 years from now, I would be an art teacher standing in front of a classroom full of students. I didn't want to be the type of teacher who was lecturing them. I wanted to be the type of teacher who knew what she was talking about. So I went back and thought of all the new skills I had learned and how I would incorporate them in the classroom. Cartooning. If I were teaching my students cartooning, I might teach them something simple and easy that they can relate to, such as how to draw the Simpsons characters. In doing this process myself, I needed to remember that Marge Simpson was 3 heads tall, 9 eyes tall, and almost 5 eyes across. It was also very important to keep Marge Simpson's eyes. When she was saying no, her eyes looked like that. Yes, her eyelashes were further spread out. The book even showed me how to do lovey-dovey eyes, or what are known as exhausted eyes. This would be a great lesson to teach with my students, especially the eyes part. When I was finished, here's what my Marge Simpson looked like. Sketching. I learned that sketching has a lot to do with the basic lines and also the basic shades that are a part of what you are drawing. And that sketching what you can actually see is oftentimes the most easiest way of doing this form of visual art. Interpreting. Having students interpret what they see and turn it into their own form of art is a great lesson idea when it comes to visual art. The students could interpret anything from a photograph to something that they see in real life and create their own sorts of arts around this. It's a great way to get students engaged and keep their interest in a visual art activity. The use of space. In exploring space myself, I found out something very critical to every single picture made. And that is that every picture comes with a midground, a foreground, and a background. This would be a very important idea to keep in mind when teaching my students about drawing. Pointillism. Though pointillism is traditionally a painting idea and is used mostly to blend colors together, say red and blue to create the illusion of the color green using dots, I found a way to use it in visual art drawing. I would have students use darker portions of dots to emphasize dark spots and lighter ones to emphasize a lighter spot in what they are trying to draw. Much like my work entitled Light Switch. I've learned, though, that if you're ever stuck, sometimes it's easier to just draw what you know. In teaching a visual art lesson, I would always have students critique what they are doing, or have someone else critique what they are doing, much like we were asked to do in this project. In critiquing, I would have them keep in mind the key points or the key ideas of what they are trying to expose to others. In this project, and in my future teaching practice, I think it's very important that the focus is put on process over product, rather than always having students focus on their finished work. This entire project and the artworks I created in it helped me go from being a very sad artist who thought they had no artistic ability to actually being quite pleased with my work. This would be the same effect I would want to have with my future students. I use many references in planning and implementing this project that I would encourage any aspiring artist to use, including the book Quick Sketching, Drawing for Older Children and Teens, Serious Drawing, a Basic Manual, and Cartooning with The Simpsons. Thank you for watching. In mind. In